but I'm really curious to hear y'all's takes on this scandal that's floating around that theoretically may or may not be true. No one's really coming out and saying anything yet because the NCAA does move at snail's pace, except for when it's Penn State. But I'm not bitter or anything. But we're talking about something here that is a violation if it's true, clear violation, and no one's really being quick and swift with these judgments. What's your take on this? Because this is, like I said, this is unprecedented in my eyes.
I just think at this point in time, because obviously we don't know absolutely everything, but at this point in time, I do think that everybody needs to think of it at least with a basis of knowledge of knowing that stealing signs isn't necessarily like this big, new thing that, has been happening, that just started happening, anything like at the end of the day, everybody has signals. And like, if you're out there on the field, even when you're out there on the field and you're actually playing, you're hearing the quarterback make an audible, you hear a code word, like you're trying to pick up on what that code word is because it's probably going to come up later on in the game and that can give you an edge on the play. So at all times, you're always trying to find all those little things that might give you the one up on a certain play. So I don't want to speak on it and people not at least knowing and having that basis that like, hey, at the end of the day, like a lot of people are always looking at signs to try to get a step ahead for what to call, et cetera, et cetera. I think when we talk about it, it's now more so an issue of, okay, like how deep exactly did they take that?
This is like premeditated. Like you're out there and you guys got the shit laminated and you're practicing it and you're sitting and spending hours in the meeting room leading into the game week. Like, this is cover one. This is when they're going to run right. This is like, and you see some clips, man. Like I'm not judging it. I'm not jumping to judgment here, but you see some clips of the guy going run right, send the house against Ohio State. And sure as shit, it's an inside zone to the right, and the safeties are sitting in corners, and they fucking feel like no other. And all you need to do is go like this and throw it right over the top. It was a touchdown, but like. That's a competitive advantage. You see the Aiden Hutchinson, your boy, with the screen against Nebraska, on first down. Like no one's going screen first down. That's as an offensive guy, you're using the screen on first down as a change up. I don't know, man. That's deep, bro.
It seems like every week there's a little bit more and more put out there, pieces of evidence here and there, video evidence. I think the Purdue coach or someone in the presser this past week. To your point of like,
pissed.
He was like, this isn't alleged. Like we have proof. We all see it. This is the guy. He got fired or took a leave of absence, whatever you want to call it. I think honestly, I'll give you a curveball. When it first came out, there was a lot of hoopla, but like Jay said, everyone does it. The coaches don't want to put the mics in the helmets. They don't want to cover the cost of the helmets and all the legalities of what it would take to put mics in the helmets and all that, which is true. And I think maybe this Connor Stallion was a fall guy. So maybe he was a plant to maybe finally get that shift to what people want, putting the mics in the helmets.
Oh, so I don't know. You're pulling the tinfoil out here.
You're pulling the
tinfoil teepee in this right now.
Yeah, I don't know because it all seems so odd and so outrageous. Because you see, like at the Central Michigan game, like I guess it isn't proven yet, but you see the videos, like
that's wild.
How did he get the gear, the Central Michigan gear? Where did he get the sideline pads?
Mack was coaching at Michigan. The head coach at Central Michigan was coaching at Michigan with them.
So where's Water?
It's really strange. So part of me is, if you're one of those YouTube, type of people, believe in everything you see, but he could be a fall guy to finally get the shift when everyone's teed up, pissed off. Oh, this happened in 2023. That was the straw that broke the camel's back to put the mics in the helmets. That may have been his job the whole time. Maybe he didn't know it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So let me shift this here too, right? So apparently there's the weekly meeting with all the Big Ten coaches and the commissioner and all that stuff, and there was a pretty. It wasn't unanimous, but it was apparently a substantially leaning towards something needs to be done. Mm-hmm. From all of the Big Ten coaches regarding this stuff. But if you guys were in this situation, like what do you think is a fair punishment for this? And B, is there any type of merit to somebody saying like, I know it'll never happen, but is there any merit to being like, we're not going to play this football game? Like we don't know what they have and it's never going to happen. But I'm saying, is there merit to that if someone were to stand on the table and be like, we're not playing this football game because we don't know what they have. And if there's a competitive advantage here, like I'm putting my kids in a bad situation.
I mean, I'll just say Matt Rule has been that. I know they already played, but he's been that guy that's been like openly like, no, they're wrong.
Yeah.
I'll start off to say, if it is proven and somehow they can prove, quantitatively how much and how far back this goes, because who knows, and what games and how much amount of tape, then it could and should get ugly for Michigan. Now, if that means revoking wins and things of that nature, I think that in history, that's usually what they do to college teams when something like this or scandals happen.
This isn't like, paying kids or some shit like that stuff's been,
right. Which that shouldn't mean you revoke wins. If anything revokes wins, it would be a case like this.
We're talking integrity of the game here. We're talking integrity of the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't believe they'll even be able to. I think it'll end up being a slap on the wrist. Harbaugh might not even be here in the next few years.
That's true.
I just hate how extensive it looks. That's my thing. I honestly, truly would be ready to be like, look, at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of teams trying to get an edge out here, like whether it's, paying it a little extra more attention to the, other sideline signals or whatever the case may be. But once I saw the Central Michigan tape, that's when I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And the Central Michigan coach goes in the post conference after, and he's like, nah, this guy's name is not on the sideline pass list. Like, our people are looking into it. And like, when they tell us, you'll know. Like, once I heard that out of his mouth at the press conference, that's when I was really like, oh, no, okay, this is kind of this is a whole another level of pushing this in there.
And like you said something great though, Jason. Like you said, this is the integrity of the game, right? And I think I speak for all three of us. Like we're football purists here. I played with both you guys. You guys played with me. We love the game, respect the game. I think that's a big thing. You respect the game. Game always gives back. That type of thing. No doubt. I just think like from an unprecedented standpoint, like I've said, this is the first attack on the integrity of football. Like to your point, this stuff has happened. Guys try to get edges. There's chippiness. There's this. There's that. Like everyone understands that. And that's across the board. I mean, baseball, you're trying to pick up on things like everything. You're trying to figure it out to do what you can do to be successful in that point in time. But like when you really truly dig into it and it's a obvious competitive advantage and you're taking a shot at the football gods, man, like,
yeah,
I just have to believe that the football gods are going to get this right and set this right in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know if that's a ass whooping this Saturday or what. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that's the case for our sake. But I'm hoping the football gods get this right because if everything is as deep as it is, again, I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but my biggest qualm is that it is with the integrity of the game.
On the flip side, to dive deeper into the conspiracy theory of it all, is
I need to fucking roll the tinfoil here.
Well, if you roll it back enough, they find out there's more hands in the pot with other teams, and they don't want to get their hands dirty in it because they know they may have been guilty, even if it was X amount of years ago. If things, people start getting, the gavel slammed on them, they'll start ratting and say, "Oh, well, this guy did it. I learned it from this guy in 2011 when I was here." And if that starts to happen, it may get really ugly. And I think, to your point, Hack, you always speak on what the NCAA needs to do as far as moving forward as a whole, and taking college football kind of out of the format it's been for so long. And that may be the straw that breaks that camel's back into kind of more of that realm of college football. We'll see. Yeah. I'm a conspiracy guy, so I don't know.
There you are. YouTube rabbit holes.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
We'll see, man. I mean, I think another thing is kind of the length of how long it might go. This could be an investigation that goes for a long time. So, okay, nothing happens in Michigan. What if they win the Natty this year and everybody's in outrage that they won it because the investigation is still going on? There's a lot of factors here, a lot going on. I could see them doing something swift for the sake of, because I think nowadays when it comes to scandals and all these types of things, really everything is just optics. That's what whether it's the president of the university, the Big Ten commissioner, whoever it ends up being that's making these decisions, it ends up being optics. So if the outrage is big enough and people are complaining enough, then something has to be done in our day of age, this social media age of gratification right now.
Everybody has a voice.
Probably get suspended because if it is true, I I just don't see how he couldn't have known. I just don't see how that's possible.
And there's also something that you said. There's also going to be an asterisk if Michigan goes out and does win a national championship. Like there's going to be always a mark on this one, and it's going to be what ifs, and it's going to be an interesting like November. That's for sure.